Hi there, I'm Adam Copeland, a teaching elder currently living in Fargo, North Dakota. I teach at Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota. That's for now, though. In July 2015, I'm going to take a new position as director of the Center for Stewardship Leaders at Luther Seminary in St. Paul. One of my research areas is digital ministry and stewardship, so I'd like to share a bit about how churches have been using crowdfunding in their ministries. This presentation was first given at the NEXTChurch 2015 conference. So, how many of you have backed a project on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Though it began only 6 years ago, crowdfunding now raises $5 billion a year. That's with a B. And those numbers are only increasing. So, what is it? Ethan Mollick's definition is academic but accurate. Crowdfunding refers to the efforts of or by entrepreneurial individuals and groups, cultural, social, and for-profit to fund their ventures by drawing on relatively small contributions from a relatively large number of individuals using the internet. Let's break that down. So one person or a small group has an idea and they put it online asking who'd like to help make this idea exist. And then lots of ordinary people can back the idea or not. It's like a stewardship campaign without the guilt. There's hundreds of crowdfunding platforms out there, but the two largest are Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Indiegogo allows for flexible funding campaigns that can be successful even if only partially funded, but Kickstarter runs on an all-or-nothing model. If a Kickstarter campaign doesn't reach the goal by the deadline, the backers all get their money back. So, what does this have to do with the church? Well, not much if we like. We can certainly choose to ignore crowdfunding, call it a trend or a fad or on the fringe, and approach stewardship as usual. But I believe the Holy Spirit works in many and mysterious ways, even on the internet. For example, a few years ago, Humble Walk Lutheran Church in St. Paul, Minnesota launched an $8,000 campaign on Kickstarter. By the way, they shot their video in one take on a cell phone. The idea was simple. Through a grant, they had enjoyed a year of guest musicians for their new church plant. They wanted to record the songs of the musicians and share them with whoever wanted them. I asked Jody Hogue, the pastor at Humble Walk, if the campaign was successful. She said, "Sure, we not only funded the CD project, but we get to give this art away for free to the big old world. Artists got to write songs, our studio people got to do what they are created to do, we get to give it all away, and we got to invite others along in the process." The most creative use of crowdfunding by a church-related org I've found is by the good folks at Broad Street Ministry and Hospitality Cooperative in Philadelphia. They launched a $150,000 campaign and raised $180,000 or so. It's a remarkable project. It's remarkably hard to explain, but I'll give it my best shot. Here's the pitch. Take the remaining chicken from a popular chicken restaurant in town, make chicken stock, and start the Rooster Soup Company restaurant. Proceeds from Rooster Soup Company then go directly to Broad Street Ministries Hospitality Cooperative, estimated at between $50,000 and $100,000 per year. I love the spirit of their campaign language. Give because it's better than a one-time gift. Help us build a perpetual money-making machine. They got a lot of great press and local artists to sign on, and it worked beautifully. Speaking of perpetual gifts, Anna Wolfenden is starting the Garden Church in San Pedro, California. She worked with Razoo.com to launch a $4,000 campaign. Backers could give as normal with one-time gifts, or they could set up monthly sustaining giving. I think of this like NPR style. Anna says she learned through the process that fundraising is really hard and takes a lot of work, and that it is deeply rewarding and inspiring to gather people together around a cause that matters. Last fall, the Hot Metal Bridge faith community in Philadelphia faced a difficult budget cycle and proposed cutting the position of table minister, the coordinator of a meal and hospitality for the homeless. They launched a campaign for $8,500 and raised $10,700. How'd the campaign happen? Well, Jennifer Freyer Griggs, the current table minister, asked on Facebook if folks would support a campaign to fund her position. a crowdfunding campaign. And they talked to the finance council and they prayed, and then Jen dove in. We didn't have much to lose, so I went for it, she said, and it worked. Now, I'm not proposing we jettison our regular stewardship campaigns, though some of this clip art is offensive to God. But the power of digital tools and easy-to-use crowdfunding platforms gives the church an opportunity to gain financial gifts for God's glory in new ways. Crowdfunding works best for creative ideas that people care about. When you support a campaign, you support something you want to see exist in the world. Crowdfunding won't keep the lights on in your church. It won't buy new hymnals, but it might fan new flames for innovative ways for your congregation to love and serve. To start, look around your context. What new idea do you want to see exist in the world? And not just for your church community, but for the whole community. What might people beyond your church support? Because the trick is to get a campaign beyond your usual network of givers. Then craft language that appeals to all. A crowdfunding campaign page is not the time to quote the Second Helvetic Confession. It's a place to draw people in, diverse persons of faith and non-faith who want to help make something happen. So use language accordingly. Crowdfunding the church. It's a thing. It's a powerful tool for creative works, for new ideas, for funding passion. And it's at least worth considering as a way to join God's mission in the world, in person and online. I'm happy to be in touch with your crowdfunding ideas or questions. You can check out my website, adamjcopeland.com. You may email me at adamjcopeland@gmail.com. There's a copy of these slides on SlideShare, and in May 2015, an issue of the Christian Century magazine will have an article about some of these ideas. Take care.